Hello. We are going over the 324 biblical prophecies that prove Jesus is the Messiah. You are watching this on the Halachgoy station of YouTube. I'm a Halachgoy, and you can be one too. 324 biblical prophecies that prove Jesus is the Messiah. Prophecy number 27. His character, merciful. We find this prophecy in the book of Exodus, chapter 33, verse 19. And the Lord said, I will cause my goodness to pass in front of you. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. This prophecy is fulfilled in the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 72. To show mercy on our fathers and to remember his covenant. And the Lord said, I will cause my goodness to pass in front of you. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. What's happening here? Moses asked to see the glory of God. It's after the original giving of the law at Sinai, the destructive effects of the golden calf, and now he is reconciling his own relationship with God. He is reestablishing it. He asks that God would show him his glory. He says, I can't go forward. We cannot go forward unless your presence is with us. We need to see your glory. I need to see your glory in order to go forward. God's reply is, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. The difference between mercy and compassion, both is to give goodness to a person. Mercy is when a person does not deserve the goodness you're giving them. Let's say it's somebody that did very wrong in life, and as a result, they've reaped the benefits of their bad life, and now they're in a difficult situation. Let's say they drank away their rent money and now they're being thrown out on the street, and you help the person out. That would be showing mercy to a person, when a person deserves what they're getting, but yet you help them out anyway. Compassion is when a person is having a rough time due to nothing to do with their own self. They did not cause the harm to happen to themselves. They're just a victim of circumstance. Let's say the landlord is renovating an apartment building. He kicks everyone out, and now the person's on the street next to the person who drank away their rent money. They're both out there on the street. If you help the person who drank away their rent money, that's showing mercy. If you help the person that is just simply a victim of circumstance, that is showing compassion. These are character traits of God's glory. And he says it here, that I'm going to give the mercy to those who should get mercy, and compassion to those who should get compassion. Zachariah, singing praises to God, speaks of these things in his praises to God concerning the birth of his son, Zachariah's son being John the Baptist, and the promised Redeemer, that he sees John the Baptist as heralding the promised Redeemer. In Zachariah's song, praise be to God, to the Lord, the God of Israel, because he has come and he has redeemed his people. He has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he said through his holy prophets of long ago, salvation from our enemies and from the hand of all those who hate us, to show mercy on our fathers and to remember his holy covenant, the oath he swore to our father Abraham, to rescue us from the hand of our enemies, and to enable us to serve him without fear in holiness and righteousness before him all our days. Zachariah is speaking of God. That's Zachariah understands that Zachariah is a priest, and as a priest, Zachariah understands that there is a God in heaven, and that is who he is speaking about. This God in heaven will remember his holy covenant. He will do this in showing mercy on our fathers. The showing of mercy upon our fathers is something that Zechariah is saying is coming from God. Praise be to the Lord, the God of Israel. He is speaking of the attribute of mercy as it applies to God. He is saying within the context of his speaking of God, one of the things he says about God is that he has raised up the horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. That within, this is the book of Luke. In the book of Luke here, that would be a reference to Jesus. So he speaks of Jesus, the coming Messiah, according to the author Luke. He speaks of Jesus, but he is also speaking, when he's speaking of mercy, he is speaking of God. God, the Lord God of Israel. He is not speaking of Jesus. That's not to say that Jesus didn't have mercy as part of his attributes. All of us should seek to have attributes of God placed into our lives and made part of who we are. We should all show mercy upon those whom mercy should be given to. We should always look to give mercy to people. We should always look to give compassion to people. And that's an attribute that all of us should desire for ourselves, and it's an attribute that Jesus was shown to have. He acted compassionately, he acted mercifully, and when he was asked at one point in time, he's asked, well, why is this person suffering? And Jesus basically said, well, he's suffering so he can be helped. That's the reason he's suffering, and that's the reason suffering exists, is so we can help. And sometimes we shouldn't even try to figure out, well, does the person deserve it or not? We should just simply help. And that's something Jesus did, and that's something we should all do. And Zechariah is speaking of this, and God spoke of it to Moses in the book of Exodus. The next prophecy we'll be looking at from Leviticus 14, verse 11. The leper cleansed, sign to priesthood. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you next time.